This is a trade recap for the 28th of August, 2024. And I want to start off by saying this channel is going to be about my trades, journaling them in general. I might be posting more than that, such as backtesting, forward testing, stuff like that. But so far, I'm just thinking about just posting my trades that I've taken on my accounts. So getting started into it, we already have bearish SMT, and to be honest, that doesn't really show anything. Just because we have bearish SMT doesn't mean that we're going to be bearish in general, right? So, but that's something to keep in the back of your mind. Going on to the daily, we have the fair value gap here, fair value gap here. We've got a breaker here. So far it would have been bullish-ish, like just looking at the daily time frame. But of course, we're not going to just be looking at the daily time frame, right? And so, going into the 4 hour, we've got a fair value gap here. We've been respecting it, and this is the time zones where I was trading in or looking at, right? So this is literally just to make my explanation easier. So we've got a fair value gap here. We've respected this fair value gap nicely. We haven't closed above it. That shows us that we're bearish, right? Going on to the 1 hour, and I trade New York session. So we have a fair value gap down here, right? Again, we've been respecting this 1 hour. We haven't inversed or anything, so that automatically gives us bearish bias, right? And then we've got relatively equal lows here. I should probably move this bit up. I don't know why that's. Alright, so we've got lows here, and we've also got a external to internal, then back to external model, right? So we swept external liquidity here. Swept external liquidity here. Now we go back into internal liquidity, which is this fair value gap, and we start to come down. That's what I saw in the 4 hour or 1 hour at the start of the day. Although I was leaning towards bullishness, I'll tell you why. I changed my mind, right? On the 1 hour, we've got a fair value gap that has been inversed at 10 a.m. New York session, at New York time, right? And then, yeah, so we inversed this 1 hour fair value gap, and then we tapped into it again, right? Didn't inverse this 50-minute fair value gap there, and nicely we tapped back into equilibrium and also tapped into this premium fair value gap, right? So from there, what it was telling me, it was really bearish, right? Inversed the 1 hour, respected 4 hours, and we had a daily SMT, right? And from that, it just tells me that I'm bearish, right? Going into the 15-minute, I think I've already talked about this. We had lows. Going to the 5-minute, we had a fair value gap here, fair value gap here. That was my draw on liquidity. I was looking for like if statements. So if this was inversed, I would take partials, right? That was my exit strategy for like TPs and stuff. Going to the 1 minute. You see I've lost it. And now here, we've got a nice accumulation here. I'll be honest, I did not see this accumulation until one of my friends told me. So, but now it's just like a part of the confluence that I had, right? We've had accumulation here, manipulation, and then I was expecting distribution, which happened, right? We also created SMT. So we had a 15-minute SMT here, and it's kind of messy right now, so I'll take off this and this. So that was just the accumulation and the manipulation that I took off, right? And we can see that there is SMT here. So this candle was high, was swept. This candle on ES wasn't, right? So we had SMT, AMD model. We had inversed a 1 hour value gap and respected the 4 hour, right? That was bearish bias as my narrative. Going into it more, I went into a lower time frame, and then what I saw here was a tap into this fair value gap. Why didn't I take this inverse in this one? Well, it hasn't been tapped into already, and then inversed, if you get what I mean. However, on this one, we tapped into it, came higher a little bit, came back down, inversed this fair value gap, making a BPR as well, and then that's where I entered on the BPR, right? So then my stop at this high, this candle's high, right? Which is also the end of that fair value gap here. The end of this one. The end of that fair value gap there. So I took the short there, and we had a nice 1 to 6. Had a nice 1 to 6 here. I'll show the executions later. What I wanted to show is the 5-minute fair value gap here that I outlined. I was waiting for this to inverse and then take a partial out, and then as well as this one as well as this. So if this hadn't inversed, then I would take a partial out and then let some of it run. And if it came down to here and this didn't inverse, then again I'll take a partial out and then let it run, right? But naturally I take a partial out here because I don't want to be left with no profits, right? It's not greedy, it's just paying the trader basically. That's the most important thing about trading, right? Just paying the trader, right? And so then I took a partial here. I went break even, I believe, on this low, because I would not be expecting it to come higher over here. And we inversed that nicely. We inversed this nicely as well. And I believe I took a partial here as well, since it was a BPR. And then my full TP was at this, at the low. I could have aimed for the 1 hour fair value gap here, but I didn't want to be greedy in a sense, right? That could have been a target, this could have been a target. I don't want to be that greedy, so I didn't hold it till there. And also, I was playing with my chart, so down here, I was playing with my chart like this, and then I managed to click on the buy limit and swipe it up, and that had cancelled my order, and that's why on the executions it didn't show. Alright, so the execution here, so the entry here, I was filled at this, and then I took out one and a fair value gap here. Oh no, I went break even at these lows here. Yeah, I went break even here, took out one here. I went in with 3 micros, so taking out one here, this 5-minute fair value gap. That was inversed earlier, as we saw. And then I accidentally put my limit order up into this area, and then I got out from there. So in total, we got into, it was like here. So 1 to 4, basically. If I held, then it would have been at 1 to 6. That was an amazing trade. So that's the end of the recap. I hope you enjoyed.